Check one, two, checking one, two. Checking one, two, checking one, two. Here we are once again. The Credit Savage is in the house. Our stocks, our Savage stocks are on the move. And how do we play it? What do we do? Well, let's first alert our folks on the Discord and just tell them that we are live now and we're trying to make sure they get the alert. Um, I want to be asking you guys, how you guys are playing today. Are you guys making any trades today? Are you guys just sitting tight and waiting for the to tell you what to do? Are you guys trading? What are you guys trading? I know RX is on the move. Um, I see that IOVA is on the move. Uh, AI is on the move, and I'm very happy to see that. Kind of not writing anything for the moment or at the moment, and I will tell you why. But anyways, um, good seeing you guys, and happy to see that people are here. Let's see, and want to make sure that I open up also my tab, so that I can see my trades. And can you guys hear my music? Uh, Winter by Vivaldi. I just want to make sure you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Is it really loud? Not loud enough? As far as like copyright infringement and all that, this is actually like a free song, right? So like this is what I was listening to when I was trading today. My mood changes, but welcome. Good morning. It is I, the Savage of Wall Street, and here we are, another day of trading, another day of opportunity, another day to make money. Um, Let me just see here where we are. All right. And here we go. Now, Vivaldi, we're going to have to pause you. And on we go. Buenos dias, my friends. What do we got in the house here right now? Moneymaker Juan is in the house. Moneymaker, what is up, my dude? Good morning. Bobby Atkinson is saying in for number one. Bobby, good morning and thank you. Mr. Lucky Go Round is in the house saying savage. Moneymaker Juan saying looking to get back into the ASTS in here. Lucky is saying my brother, sorry to hit the ground running, but bull. January 27, $15 cash secure puts are worth over 5.5 a pop. And so I say, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I see nothing wrong. I would absolutely, for a cash secure put, wait for a day of correction, 10% or more. So those fives, 5.5s could look more like sevens, and you can bring in like around 40%. I like that. To go to 2027 at this point, 40% is not bad. If you're going to January, I'm looking at like 20 to 25%, so that's just my metrics, right? It's just an idea. I'm not obviously giving you any type of financial advice. You have to go see, a person that's like, that does that for a living. And I just go by what like I do. But, my trick and what keeps me getting paid is at this point, if I want to go to 2027, I will look for something that gives me 35 to 45%. And that's kind of like, how I keep myself sane, as well as, how I take advantage of big chunks, right? But again, everybody's different. Everybody trades differently. That's how I feel about the overall market today, my friends. But that does not mean that stocks individually cannot be green, which totally okay. Just like sometimes you'll see my bull up here and the overall market is bearish. It's just how I feel based on my portfolios, right? And based on the stocks that we talk about here. For the most part, I'm very bearish about the overall market and stuff we're trading, but there are some stocks that are showing signs of life. And I told you guys, C3.ai being one of them. Um, it's on the move. It's up like 10% today, right? 5% or 10%, something like that. Um, and you know what? It's to be expected. This is what AI does, guys. This is what it does. It's up 5% today, right? It's kind of bringing itself back down a little bit, breathing a bit, and it's probably going to run to like 18s. It had no business in the $14 land. Let me just tell you right off the bat. It had no business in 15. It really has no business at 15 or 16 or 17. It has no business under 20. This is why when I wrote my cash secure puts, I was very bullheaded about going and writing 1750s out to like September, and no farther than October, just because I just know the stock. I've been trading it for 3 years, and this is exactly what it does, right? So, you know, um, you guys know what you guys trade and how you trade, and everybody has a different, assessment of what risk level they're willing to take, right? But I was fairly confident, and I still am that C3.ai at 1750 for September is a great move. Even 20s would have been great. 20s for January, oh my God. Now, that's not what I wanted to write because I already have 25s out to January, and some in October and some in September. I have some 25s, some 2250s. So I can meet kind of in the middle, right? And that's just, how I'm trading this. But if anybody wanted to is itching to write on AI, right? I would say, if you dove in, feet first and bought, I don't know, 100 shares or 200 shares when it was in the 15s, or even 16s, hats off to you. Um, Hats off to you. And I see nothing wrong with writing 20s. You write 20s for January 2026 and you bring 225 bucks. You could ask for 225. I see nothing wrong with that. You write, four of those, that's 900 bucks. You write five, you're bringing in well over $1,100. And that's just how you're getting paid, and you can play this. So now is AI gonna be there? Or is there a possibility for you to lose your shares on that day? Absolutely. But you can always roll over, and that's the beauty of this game. And us that write, options, we are the casinos. We are not the gamblers, right? Although I did go in when AI was at the $15 land, and I bought some calls just because, again, I was okay losing, those 500 bucks, right? But it's already up, like 40%. Those calls are up like 40%. So I'm gonna let them marinate, and I'm gonna let them stick, and I'm gonna see what happens, in the next month. And then I will see if I sell them and bring in some shares, or if I just sell them and use that money for cash secure puts. I do whatever I want, right? So yeah, that's how we're playing that. I mean, honestly, you could sell a cash secure put right now in AI. So usually I tell people, you know what, only write on red days, cash secure puts wise, right? That's exactly, that is the discipline, and that is exactly what you should be doing, right? However, if there are rate cuts, and now there's three on the table, maybe four, there's whispers of a fourth rate cut, right? This is what has the markets up a little bit today, kind of happy, especially the mid cap and like the small cap stocks, right? Every small and mid cap stock is going to go up massively because it's free money. All these companies are going to be able to borrow money at 1% or nothing, and they'll be using that money to dump it into their businesses, and just that's what happens, right? So then the stock goes up. um Now, will that happen? We don't know, right? But we're in one of those positions where you buy the rumors, sell the news. Now, like I said, AI is one of those very, very, very few, kind of like SoFi, very few companies that you would not be crazy to write a $20 cash secure put on AI for January and bring in $415. You could ask for 410 just to make sure you get assigned, right? Because right now the bid is 410 and the ask is 415. So you could go to 12, ask for $412. That's very well over 20%. And remember what I told you guys at the beginning is if I'm writing to January at this point, I'm looking to get at least 20% back on my investment on the capital that I'm putting out, whatever it is. If I go to January, I'm bringing in 20% at least. And if I'm going to go to 2027, then I'm going to bring in at least 33%, if not more. I'm looking at 35 to 45 really, but at least 33%. Like if it's really a stock that I want, right? So what do we got here? Let's see. Chase Rosita Parker is in the house. Good morning, Rosita. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. Wing Commander Saga is in the house. Tobin, what's going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're making money today. I know those cash secure puts on AI are treating you very well this morning. I know they are. I know because we talked about them. Tom Kaufman is in the house. Hi, Savage. Market is going up frothy. So we've covered that it's frothy, right? But I think it's more in the it's a lot of hopium going on at this point, and the hope now is that there's whispers of for sure 3 rate cuts, maybe a 4th one, right? So when you have whispers of a 4th rate cut, not saying it's going to happen, but just remember, sell the rumor, buy the rumor, sell the news, right? This is what's going on. So this is what happens to the markets. They get happy. Who doesn't want free money, right? It's like us writing cash secure puts and cover calls out. It's free money. Like, why wouldn't you take that? You get happy. I get happy, right? So I think that's what's going on. A lot of hopium, and it's just earnings are kind of settling at this point. People are kind of starting to see kind of the route that the overall market's going to take. It's going to be choppy, man. And I think that they're going to start putting away for rainy day funds or whatnot. And in some companies like, NVIDIA, right, and AMD, they are on notice that they're going to have to pay 15% a tariff on every single chip that they sell in China. So, I mean, that gives you some benchmark, right? Remember that the market doesn't like uncertainty, and that's actually certainty. Like it's certain they're going to pay that 15%. So that's a big deal, right? So that being said, it's just hopium at this point, because nothing has happened. We don't know what the CPI and PPI numbers and unemployment numbers are going to be next month, for this month, right? I'm just seeing all over the news locally and and all over the states that unemployment's in the rise, right? Unemployment's on the rise, and the storefronts are empty, and there's all these for lease signs, and nobody's hiring, right? So that just gives you an idea on where we're going. Everything's more expensive, and of course, things get expensive every year, right? I mean, it's inflation. You're going to have to raise prices of certain things. But when you were paying $5 for an item in 2020, 2021, and that item is now $10, right? That is a 100% increase in inflation. So I ask you, and this is not being political, and this is not me giving you an opinion. It's just a fact. If something was worth $5, 4 or 5 years ago, and it's now $10, that's a 100% inflation markup, right? Who is earning 100% more at their jobs? Who has gotten a raise of 100% from 5 years, 4 years ago till now? I don't know anyone other than like these fat cat CEOs. Um, Nobody. If anything, wages are stagnant, and so that's exactly where the problem lies, right? And so you have these talking heads on TV telling you, that the economy is doing great, that we're in the right track, inflation is low. But I mean, I don't feel that it's low. And it's not that I'm complaining about how much I pay for stuff because thank God I can afford to spend a little more. But I just feel like somebody that has been unemployed for a year or more and just cannot find employment, and now their unemployment has run out and they're living literally like through their credit cards, and they're putting everything on the credit card, even rent. um, you know, and things just keep going up in price. And I mean, how does this person feel, right? And that's kind of where I'm coming at it from. And that's kind of telling me, that maybe, just maybe, the overall market is not necessarily in connect or connected to like the overall population, right? So is that really a good gauge on where the population overall is? And it's not. And just an example. I don't know if you guys remember, January 6th when these yahoos took over, the Capitol, right? The Capitol riots. Um, I mean, literally, there was an act of you can call it whatever you want, but that was like an act of terrorism going on in our nation's capital. Yet the stock market was at an all-time high that day, and you can Google that. You can look it up. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up. The stock market was actually at an all-time high on that day. For some reason, the stock market was ripping that day. And I mean, because I was trading and I told my wife, I was like, I don't know how we're not crashing. Like, I don't know how and that's like, I mean, it's vivid, right? Like, it's one of those core memories that you can't help but like remember because like it was so key. It was like in our history, it's just something that's like marked, right? And so I, the stock market is not necessarily a gauge of where the population is. Now, see, this is the thing. You can take it one or two ways. You can either um, kind of tuck your tail in between your legs and say, things are going to crapper and I don't feel good about it. I'm just going to go and work and then just, keep my head down and not get in trouble. You could do that. Or you could take the bull by the horns, right? Um, you could be like this guy. You could be like this guy right here, that I show you guys. You could be like this guy and just say, F it. I'm taking the bull by the horns, and whether we go up or down, I'm making money. I need to take care of my family. I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of like this mortgage, this rent, these bills. They're not gonna pay themselves, and no one's gonna help me. No one's out to help me. So like you gotta help yourself, and the way that you do that is by using this tool that we have, right, which is the stock market, and we can use that to our advantage, right? And then I hope people are watching me right now, and it's like 18, 20 of you at this point, but you know what? The goal that I have in mind, my own personal selfish goal, is to make 100 millionaires that watch me every day or very regularly. And if I can do that, that is kind of my way of giving, back for everything that I have to be thankful for and grateful for, right? And knowing that I even if I helped in any way, in a small way, 100 people out there, kind of take the bull by the horns and help them make money, like real money, and in a way change their lives, right? I feel very good about that, and that's kind of like what I would like to do as far as my channel. That's kind of my overall goal. But I'm at this point, I'm ranting and I'm just I veered off course. I'm sorry, but again, that's AI cash your puts. For right now, look, if you would have gone to 413 or 412, you would have gotten filled. Now those cash secure puts, the $20 cash secure puts for January, expiring in 2026, they're now 405 to 410. I mean, AI is just going upwards, right? So if you got 20% back on those cash secure puts, you would make not a terrible mistake. Worst case scenario, you get put those shares and you're buying AI at $16. Not the most terrible thing, right? Best case scenario, you get $2,000 back January 2026, and you just spend, you spend these $400 as you see fit. You sell 5 of these, that's $2,000 in your pockets, right? Which you can use to pay your mortgage for a month. You could use to pay your mortgage and other bills for a month. And guess what? That's like 1/8 of a year that you don't have to worry about any bills or your mortgage. I mean, that's a big relief, right? And you can do that. If that's what you want to do with that money, you can absolutely do that. You can also take it and grow your portfolio. You could pay, for a nice dinner. You wanted to take a nice little vacation somewhere, that's $2,000, that you can take a little vacation, a mini vacation with, why not? This is kind of, you work hard for this money. This is kind of like you're reaping the benefits of your hard work, right? That's what you're doing. All right, what do we got here? Tom Coffin. So yeah, are we frothy? I said we're frothy, Tom, but I mean, time will tell, right? Hector is saying good morning, Hector. Buenos dias to you, my friend. Wing Commander saying we bring out the avocado. You know what? Hold on. I said I was going to do this. Yeah. I'm going to share. Here it is. Here we go. Can you guys see that? How can you guys see that? Let me see. Wing Commander. There you are. Shows. Yeah. Bring out the avocado, man. The avocado. Release the avocado files. Cannon is saying hello, folks. Right on, Cannon. Good to see you again, my mans. Mando number 5 is in the house. Charlie C2 is in the house. Good morning, all. Hello, Savage. What's up, Charlie? How you doing? Jeff Glass is in the house for sure. Jeff Glass is saying, my account looked beautiful, Jeff, just after open, but now it's nothing but red now. So good. So good. If you sold some covered calls, that's how we do it. Mr. Poto is in the house. Millionaire in the house, baby. What is going on, Mr. Poto? Mr. Go Lucky is saying, what will you do with your life if you only make 99 millionaires? You know what, man? I have to take my backpack with me and go backpacking and figure out what went wrong. Jay Gill is in the house saying, good morning, all. Hi, Savage. What is up, my dude? That's what we got going right now, guys. So anywho, yep. So we shared the chat. You see that? I'm trying to make it a little more inclusive here, right? You guys can see that. I'm trying here. I'm trying, right? So all right. Some of our stocks popped today, and I wrote some covered calls, and it's on a company that it may seem not like that big of a company, but it's just I have a discipline and I try to stick to it no matter what. No stock is special, and although I do get my ass handed to me once in a while because it runs against me, today Iovance Biotherapeutics, IOVA, it ran 10%. And remember, I tell you guys, on days that it runs 5 to 10%, it's up to my discretion. But lately, I'm writing only on days that stocks run 10%, right? Um, Iovance Biotherapeutics ran 10% today. It went up to like 249. It's 244 at this moment. And guess what your boy Savage did? Your boy Savage had, remember, I had bought 1,000 shares. I went in at like 191, and I sold 10 covered calls. I sold 10 covered calls, and I think I was the first one to sell. The bid was at, I think, 30, and the ask was at 60. So I went to 50 because there was nothing. There was nothing there. And the last trade had been, I think, 35. I didn't want to get too greedy, but I should have gone a penny higher, let me tell you. Anyway, so I wrote 10, 50-cent cover calls, and they filled right off the bat. And the ask was 60 at that time. I should have gone to 55. I should know better. I should have gone a nickel down, but I didn't want to get greedy. And it was already at like, I think 248, and I saw it. I saw it kind of, I saw the volume starting to go like this, and I just said, you know what? Let me get for sure money, because sometimes we oink around and find out, right? But I got $500, man. I got $500. I sold 10 covered calls expiring January 2026, and I'm selling at $3. My average is 191. So I'm basically, it's got to go up to $3 for me to get those shares, taken, right? But I brought $500. That's on a $2.40 stock. What? It's 244, meaning if I'm bringing in 50 cents, that's more than 20%, right? So 25%, bringing it in, free money. And my average is 191. I'm selling at 3. I'm making $1.09 per share times 10. That's $1,900 plus 500. So that's almost $1,600 on a $1,910 investment. Do you see that? That percentage wise, that's huge. So, and that's the discipline, right? Now, I see some of you guys probably, after I went on the Discord and talked about it, probably went in trying to beat the SAV, and you did. Some of you fools got 56 cents per share, and I think that's great. I think that's what you do. You try to beat the teacher. That's what you do, and I like it. I really like that. It seems like 32 more people went in, and then they sold at different points between 50 and 56. And I'm at the low of the day now. What can I do? What can I say? But I still brought in $500. And at this point, the stock is probably going to keep recovering and go up to 4 or 5. Doesn't matter. On November or December, I can roll to like April if it opens up, or March or June, and then bring in like another dollar, and then move up to from $3 to $5 or $4. Doesn't matter. It's all a gain, right? It's all a profit at this point. So I'm not mad at that at all. And that's how I'm playing that. It is my first time writing also on that stock, because it's not like a stock that I research heavily on my own. It's a stock that one of our boys, Danny Deals, ended up talking about. I looked it up. I did a research of a couple of hours, and I said, you know what? I have all this premium from all these cash puts. Let's see what happens. I put a stinker out there, and it filled. 1,000 shares for $191 a share. Let's see what happens, right? And I just made $500. So now my cost basis is like 141. So unless that stock goes below 141, I'm good. And that's how I look at things, right? So here we go. Jay Gilt's in the house. We said that. Juan Velasquez is in the house. Juan Velasquez. Good morning, all. I like those cover calls, Savage. Uh, yeah, man, cover calls are wonderful. Jeff Glass is saying I picked the wrong Danny Deals pick. Roll the dice on prop instead of Iowa. Well, see, this is the thing. I also got 300 shares of prop, and right now it's down. You know, but I mean that's kind of what happens, man. Um, you could sell some December 19 cash secure puts, right? Some 250s, and somebody sold one for 33 cents. So basically they'll be buying at, like, 217. But I would have asked for 40 cents. But anyways, this is what happens. You can't win them all. That's what happens when you have a diversified portfolio, right? But again, you're not at the mercy of the one stock. Like, let's say for whatever reasons, if your stock was just Nvidia, right? You would be up massively sometimes, and sometimes you'd be down 20% in a day, 15% in a day. It happens, right? So, like, this is just one of the ways that you kind of cushion the blow. If everything goes down, or if some stocks go down, and then you diversify your portfolio. That's kind of what you have to do, right? Because that way, there's always a stock that's running. There's sections, right? So, um, if you just capitalize on what the stock is giving you, the market's giving you, and it's a rotating stock market, right? So we go from, like, one sector to the next, and one sector to the next, and right now real estate is not necessarily the greatest, but in, like, when rates come down, a good 200 basis points, real estate is going to be on fire. So if you have some real estate stocks, like Open Door, or Rocket, you're going to be sitting pretty. Those stocks are going to triple in value easily. So I mean, that's what happens, right? Um, BBAI, BBI. I don't know why I always want to call it bareback AI. It's terrible. But anyways, it's down 4% today, right? So it was 5% earlier on. And if you're looking at BBAI, going to December, selling some cash secure puts in the 550 land, not terrible. I mean, you're getting over 10%, 20% by going to December. You sell some 550s, you get, you ask for 130, say 129. Not terrible. You could do fives and bring in 20%. I like that better. You're bringing in 10%. You ask for $1.99 for a $50 for a $5 put. You do 10 of those, you bring in $1,000. That's not terrible at all. I don't dislike that trade at all. So if you really wanna, if you're looking at BBAI, it's not a bad day. It already was down to 5% today. So it's kind of yeah, it's not a bad ride at all. We already talked about IOVA. Open Door is down today, but last week I was telling people to sell 150s, cash secure puts out to January. Right now they'd be sitting pretty. Lucid is taking a little hit. Riot, it was up, now it's down. Let's see what Riot's giving us, man. Another reason that I wrote on IOVA is because those covered calls were over 100% on the IV. So whenever I see that, to me that's like a screaming, like, do it. The stock went up 10%. I'm getting over 100%, on the IV, and it's just everything's telling me to write. That's another thing you guys may want to look at. The IV. If it's in like the 50s, the 60s, not too sexy. But if it gets to like the 90s or the 100 land, anything above 100 is insane. I've written on some that are like 200, which is insane, but big premiums. High risk, hard reward, though. October 17 riots. Let's see here. It's 11:51. You can sell some $10 cash secure puts if you want free money, right? If you want some free money, you go to October 17th, $10 cash secure puts, and you ask for 58 cents. So 5.8% for going and maybe buying a stock that you want. You can definitely go 11s and bring in $1. I mean, that's your risk of getting those shares is a little higher, but you're getting paid, almost 10%. I mean, that's pretty great. Do you want a little more money and give yourself a little more breathing room? Do some 11 cash secure puts out to January, bring in 165. So pretty much 10%, 10, 15%, 15%. Not a right that I would do, right? But I mean, if you want to stop, I don't see anything wrong with that. Let's see here. Sentinel One. Sentinel One is up a little bit today. It's up almost 4%. You guys know Sentinel One is one of my stocks that I'm watching and that I like. It was I think like 1580, 1570 earlier in the week, and right now it's up $1 since then. So look at that. It's I really like it. Like I said, it reminds me of CrowdStrike, and the ticker for it is S, capital S, as in Superman, right? And I'm at this point, I've sold some $18 calls out to next month actually, and I brought in some money, a little underwater now, but it's all right. I'm just gonna sit here and just cross my arms and either get taken out or roll over to October, and if not October, then roll over to December, bring in more money. So many ways to skin a cat, right? RXRX was up quite a bit today. And I don't know if you guys are holding, but it was up to like 8%, I want to say, at some point. And it's trying to come back again. You guys know I love RXRX. I have $6 cash secure puts that I'm begging to get put. My cost basis is like $4 because I've already rolled those cash secure puts. I even have $7 cash secure puts, which I'm considering getting put those shares because I think my break even is 5.10 on those. So or maybe roll them one more time just to get under 5, bring in more premium. But I'm ready for those shares. For sure the 2,000 other shares that are sitting in $6 cash secure puts, because I really like the stock. I like to write when it pops 10%. It was at 8% today. I actually had deployed some stinkers that were going to give me, if it went to 10, 11%, they would have triggered, but it didn't. So we're going to wait on that. I had $10 calls out to January, and I even some $5 puts that I sold expiring 2027. Those brought me in $250. $5 cash secure put. So I basically got 50%. And that's what I'm telling you. When you write out, I sold these April. I think when the market tanked. Remember when April, when everything tanked, I went crazy. And I was like free money. So yeah. So $25 cash secure puts. And average credit was $255. Which is insane. And those are, right now they're 173. So it's all free money at this point. I'm basically getting those shares for like a little over $2, right? I'm daring the market to put those shares to me, and that's how I make my bread, my friends. So RXRX, it's not a date that I would sell cash secure puts on. And being that it's up like 5% right now. I don't see anything wrong, like especially if you bought it in the 5s, right? You write some January 750s and bring in 90 cents. I don't see anything wrong with that. You do 10 of those, you're bringing in $900. You're selling at 750. You bought like a 5, so you're basically bringing in almost 50% of like your initial investment, and then you're bringing in 90 cents per share. So you realistically are selling at like 840. I don't see anything wrong with that at all, man. Not at all. You're making, pretty much more than $3 a share if everything was to go your way. And though, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? It's a great stock to write in or to write on, and it's gonna run. It's just a matter of time, right? I think they just unveiled a new product. Who else unveiled a new product is C3.ai. It's another of the reasons why I'm bullish on that, right? I'm overall bearish on like the overall economy and stuff, right? But like on my stocks, I'm pretty bullish. So let's see here. Rivian, Rivian was up a little bit today, 1%. I mean, nothing to write home about, right? So it's just a cross your arms type of day. SoFi is interesting because SoFi earlier on was like 24 something, right? Let's see what the high of the day was for SoFi. 24.50. Holy crap! It got to 24.50. It's at 23.44. Profit taking. It's just profit taking. I think that this is algos, and this is not necessarily retail. I think retail was so happy that it was going to go to 30, that they got greedy, and now FOMO kicks in, and I'm sure that you guys hopefully wrote some covered calls. If you would have written some covered calls on SoFi, you could have written some Octobers. You could have written some 25s, some $26 calls. Hell, write some 27s. 27, somebody got $133 for at the top. If you would have written 25, somebody got $2.06 per share. So 10, that's $206. Those are now the 25s at 161. So you will be already up 25% in a day. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered, guys. That's what it is. Jeff Glass is saying I picked the wrong day. Oh, Danny Deal's pick, yeah. Jeff is also saying I doubled down on this fuckery. I sold my prop shares at $100 loss and took the remainder and bought 10 $5 calls for March. I'm done, but I'm not drinking around. I'm not winking around. Yeah, look, it's one of those days where I think prop just did they have earnings? I think they did, right? And the numbers didn't look great. I would have a little knee-jerk reaction on your part, but I would have waited a bit to see it settle. Just because I think it's gonna settle closer to 3 in the next week or two. But I mean, look, you know what you're doing, with your portfolio. If you're doing a lateral move, I wouldn't have bought calls, just because if you're gonna buy calls, you might as well just have the shares, and then as soon as it recovered, if you really were thinking that it's not a stock for you, you could have just gotten out. But yeah, I seldomly sell for a loss on a stock that's down and then buy calls on it. I just don't do that because I just don't do that. If anything, I make a lateral move, to another stock that I'm really looking at that's got like really high premiums and I know it's a good one. JJ saying nasty. Are we talking about BBAI? Yeah, JJ. Yeah, JJ's in the house. Dude is saying dip time. Let's go. The market giveth and the market taketh away, right? That's what happens. So, this is why you guys got to take care of looking at your portfolios and really be meticulous and have a plan, have set rules, right? And then you say, my shares are up 5%, 10%. I want to write some cover calls. The market's down, a specific company's down 10%. I'm going to write some cash secure puts and take advantage of that. You oink around and find out. That's what happens. So, yeah. Mando number 5 is saying AI is popping. Indeed, it is, my friend. Indeed, it is. I have a ridiculous amount of AI calls, or I'm sorry, AI shares in cash secure puts, but I'm not writing on AI just yet. I know it, and this is you don't have to take my word for it. Like if you guys feel comfortable writing on AI, and you want to write 20s and 2250s, totally okay. This is just me personally wanting to wait because I don't know if it's hopium as much as it is just my experience with the stock and knowing how it moves, right? And then just looking at the charts and looking at how it's moving, um, it's going back to 20. It's going back to 20, and it likes 20. It likes 20. I told you guys a few days ago on Monday, and I told you guys Sunday night, it's an overreaction and a complete overreaction. Um, you know, like the market managers, man, they really know how to scare people. There's so much FUD out there, right? For you guys that don't know what FUD is, it's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And when you're a retail trader and then you haven't been doing this for at least 5 years, it's easy to shake your resolve, right? And then you see the news, you see the experts, right? But if you start looking at like the nitty gritty, and you see who these experts are, you see who pays them, right? And then you see who is buying when everybody else is selling. Um, Look at what Vanguard does, right? Look at what BlackRock does. Look at what like J.P. Morgan and Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Look at what they're doing. Their departments, their investment departments. Look at other funds that are heavily traded, right? Look at what they do. And when you see that they go in and buy the stock everyone else is selling, that tells you something, right? Um, C3.ai doesn't have that many shares outstanding. It's and it's easily can go up and down, and that's one of the things that they count on, which is why I don't pay attention to the after hours in the pre-market, just because 100,000 shares can move, the price like ridiculously, and it's such a small volume, right? But the thing is that that there's not many people with money that are trading, so they're able to do that shit. It should be illegal, quite honestly, because you're really manipulating the market at that point. But are you really like if you and I, right? If we had a couple of $1 billion and we really liked AI and we were just like, I just want 100,000 shares right now, or I bought at 10 and it's going down. I don't like the quarter. I need to raise some capital. If I could sell it at 17 and then it just tanks, right? That's what happens. So, anybody can trade. And this is exactly why I don't pay attention to the, pre-markets as much and after hours, unless there's like some like black swan event or like some crazy news, right? But if it's like a hit piece, like the one that was written against the C3.ai and like some frivolous lawsuit, I don't really pay attention to that, because it's just what it's what always is done. I know the stock for 3 years. I know what I got. I know what I'm trading. I know this stock belongs in the $35, $40 land. And when the street really finds out about it and they see that it's as good, if not better than Palantir, this stock is going to 50, $100. But until then, I'm gonna keep selling covered calls, right? But right now, there is no denying the stock is at $18. It was just at 14 on Monday, though. Remember that. So from 14 to 18, come on. If SoFi would have done that, what would you guys feel? Right? How would you guys be spinning that? So when SoFi went to $19 a couple of weeks back, after earnings, right? Or right before earnings, it went to like $19. I sold a shitload of $20 cash secure puts because I knew that it was going to recover. And it went out to 22. I bought back those cash secure puts, made a profit. You know, this same thing with these 1750s. You know, I'm hoping that I get a sign. Probably won't, but it's free money. You know, and it was a big chunk of change that I got I went in when the ID was really high and I got, you know, some nice premiums. I got like over 20% for a month. And I got over 25% to go out 2 months. I mean, that's crazy. Because like right now, you know, the best you can do with most stocks is get 20% going out to January, which I was talking about earlier, right? So anyways, again, as far as AI, let's see what we're talking about here. AI is popping, says Mando. Dude is saying, I took a little profit and rolled it. Juan Velasquez then says, a day before yesterday, I wrote AI 1750 to January and got paid $3.08. See, I got $3.08 to go to September, and I got $3.50, I think, to go to October. So that's how much that volume was moving, and that's how much those that volatility was moving. Those cash secure puts, man, that's just insane, right? Because now you're getting pretty much what I got to go to September, but you have to go to January with it. That's crazy. And I went in at a lower price. Let's see here. Day before yesterday, I wrote 1750s, got paid there. The thing is, I'm up to $276, and that's good for you. That's how we do it. Make that dinero, my friend. And that's Ryan saying the same thing. Make that dinero, my friend. Moneymaker One is saying, go AI, go. I wish I would have wrote more. Remember when I was channeling Jordan Belfort in the Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like, you know, friend, don't judge me on the winners that I pick, and that's the many winners that I pick. Judge me on my bad ones, and picking so few of them. Sound about right? And I mean, it's just, you know, I told you guys, man, AI it has no business in $14 land on Monday. It got no business at 15. It's done. It didn't deserve to be at 17 or 16. This is a $30 stock, and it's because it's manipulated quite a bit. But every so often, because it's got such a low flow, and because the shorts get a little greedy, it gets away from them and it jumps to 35. That's when I sell covered calls and make a profit, because I know, you know, if it runs especially to like 40, right, and in like a couple of weeks it goes from like $23 to like $40, it goes up way too fast. Not saying that it shouldn't be there, it's just saying it goes up way too fast. And then there's profit taking that takes place, right? That's when you sell your covered calls and you bring in a big fat chunk, so that then when there's pullbacks like the one we had, in which it does happen, especially with AI, it goes back to $22, $23, $24. You can buy back those covered calls for like 80% gain, 70% gain, and like 70% of $14 is quite a bit, especially if you do 30 or 40 contracts. That's a pretty penny. So let's see here. Mark C saying, supporting the Savage, number 18, LTBR is moving. Yes, it is, my friend. Dude is saying MSCR like clockwork at this point. I wrote some long calls and took some money. That's what happens when you're intimate with a stock, right? When you've been writing it for a while and you start seeing those patterns, that's what happens. Dude is saying, I like to roll long calls lower on their strike if there is a dip of more than 5%. It depends on the IV for me. It's strategy that seems to work in a bull trending market overall. It does. I know that. Hector saying C3 AI has a ways to travel to reach 30. It's worth more than 30. It definitely is. Um, don't be fooled by how slow it's moving. It could be at $30 by the end of the year, if not earlier. You know, remember we're gonna have a Santa rally, especially if these rates get cut. If the rates get cut, I'm telling you right now, AI's at $30. We have two rate cuts, three rate cuts, AI is going to 30. If we have four rate cuts, there's no telling what AI is going to do, man. But what do I know? I'm just a dumbass on YouTube. Um, let's see. Dude is saying at the same time I might roll out covered calls. It's hedging my position and strengthening it. Though I write four-man covered calls when we flip bearish, I stop that method. Right now, though, I think we're good. You're playing with fire, my friend. I don't do four-man covered calls because just like people were saying with the C3.ai, the do four-man covered calls, they got their butts kicked and they were freaking out. And it's just like, unnecessary drama in my life. When it gets that low, I just buy the damn stock, right? I sell a ridiculous number of like cash cure puts. I use that premium to buy the stock, and I'm up nicely. And I'm going to keep going up. At this point, I bought back all my covered calls or across all platforms. And, I'm gonna wait. I want to wait till we're like in the $21, $22 land or more, and I'm gonna sell some covered calls. Right now, though, if you're itching to write some covered calls on AI and you want to take advantage of this little pop, you absolutely can. $20 calls till October. Remember, you could get $131 right now per contract. You got 10 of those. That's $1,300. That's nothing. That's not bad. That's nothing to be shy about at all. I like that. What else do we have here? CKT saying waiting on SoFi to have another red day to write more cash cure puts. Been writing 26 and 27s and for 2026 and 2027, 25. So I'm bringing in 10 to 30% each time. Bring it on. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I wouldn't be writing. I mean, I am such a terrible person to be saying this, but I have $15 covered calls expiring in 2026. I'm in the shit house, man. I'm very underwater. So like, this is obviously not something I have done. So from my personal experience, if you're writing out to 26 and 27, I would sell 30s. 26s, I will sell 30s. 27s, I'll sell 35s. SoFi is going to 50 by next year. By end of 2026, $40 to $50, man. It's a behemoth. It's just gonna keep getting bigger. It keeps coming out with new products. It keeps steamrolling everybody else. Legacy bankings are bleeding customers every day, and they're going to SoFi. They're coming to Hood. It's just they're going to Webull. The writing's on the wall. I think at this point, those banks are trying to play catch up. But as a person that has a wife that worked in banking, I can honestly tell you that they are very behind SoFi, like a lot, like years behind SoFi. SoFi made a decision, and they say we're going digital on everything. And then right now, what do you see? You see all these banks, legacy banks at that, having all these closures. I mean, where you live, right? If you're in the United States, when was the last time you actually went to a physical bank, right? And when you were there, is it like the way it used to be? Is there as many tellers available? The lines are a lot longer, and everything is done online now. Moreover, they keep closing. They keep closing branches. I remember there used to be like 4 or 5 branches of different banks around here. Those are closed now. There's one bank now, and that's like gonna close soon. So now I have to go over to almost towards the end of the town, uh, to go to the bank that I bank with, right? So it's they keep closing, man. That's, the writing's on the wall. Is just you're gonna have to make a decision and say, is SoFi it? And I think right now, I mean, under anywhere in the $20 land, SoFi's a buy. But right now, there's just so many other cheapies that are taking my attention, and I'm so heavily invested in SoFi already. I think across multiple platforms, I have like 20,000 shares. So like, I'm good. I'm good. So right now, I'm adding on AI. Unity, when it goes under 30, which I think it will go under 30 for a little bit, I'm gonna go back in and get more shares. I really want to start just gobbling up RXRX. I want to gobble up more Rivian. I want to get more GME. I'd like to get more SMCI, but it's probably, it needs to come to the 30s. I need to get my hands on more Sentinel One. Riot, I need to add some more. BBAI, I need to get some more. Tesla, I definitely need to get more Tesla. I need to get more NVIDIA. But again, I only have so much money, right? So, and you add to that the fact that I do have 3 growing kids, right? Kids that are like, not even their teens yet. And it's just, so much going on that I can only use so much capital, right? But that's why I generate all the capital that I can, and I buy, shares with that capital, so that I'm always using money that I already have or generate, and then grow my portfolio that way. But yeah, no. So there's so many good companies out there, man. I wish I would have gotten Coinbase when it's $90. It was $80. I thought it was going to come back to 50, and it didn't. Talkspace, I haven't started a position on Talkspace. I should have started a position on Molecular Partners. I didn't. It's running NVTS. I need to add some more NVTS. QUBT. I need to add some more QUBT. I need to add some more IonQ. I don't know. Some more sound for sure. Um, so many different good stocks out there that I need to get more of. Juan Velasquez is saying Sentinel One, $17 cash secure puts January 26, paying $220. Good idea. I like it. It's not 20%, right? Which I like. But I mean, if it's a stock you want to own, you're basically buying it for 1480, near the 52-week low. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. It's free money. You want a nice little cash grab. If you are looking for a cash grab and you really don't want the stock, if you haven't done your due diligence and you're just looking for a cash grab, look at Webull, Bull, Bull. Webull, I need to get more Webull. I need to get more Webull, and I got to make a decision on Webull because the premiums are so juicy, and I do like the stock, and I know that I poo-pooed on it in the past. It's down 2% today, 2-3%. You want a cash grab? Webull. Same $17.50 put instead of $2 will bring you $4.75 for Webull. I mean, that's great. Even if you were to do the $15, that's $250 less, right? In collateral. So you're basically putting, instead of $1,700, put away $1,500 and bring in $285 right now. You could go and do $290, stink it, or $285 if you want to get filled for the $15 cash secure put for October, expiring October for Webull, $15. Webull's at 15.22 right now. It's trading at 15.22. So you're basically, it's like if you bought them today. Look at it like that. Like if you're willing to buy a stock today, right now, this moment, boom, you bring in what 15 is like almost 20% out to October. If you want to really play around and dare the market, bring in 193. 195. Do 195s for September 19th. $15 cash secure puts for 195 bucks. Right there. It's well over 10% in a month. In a month. I mean, that's if you really are looking for a cash grab. You know, I just don't think it'll be $15 in September. But if it is, great. Then you have, a company that, like, once you get put those shares, you can go back and sell a call, out to October, right? Sell a call, and it's like it's a 15. You can sell a 17.50 and try to bring in $125. You're selling for $250 profit, and you're bringing in another over $100. What is wrong with that? You could go to January and bring in a bigger chunk. Sell 20s. I mean, you could. So many ways to go about this, right? And it's just up to what you want to do and how you want to use your capital. But like Sentinel One, like I said, going to January 2026 and bringing in 220, not terrible if you want the stock, but if you're looking for a cash grab, there's so many other options that could bring you in more money. Now, if you really like this Channel One company, right? Will it be trading at $17 in on January? Not if we have like 2 or 3 rate cuts, but who knows? Go ahead. But if you're just looking for a cash grab, we will be a better option. Not financial advice. Obviously, you do whatever you want to do. Just options. Just another option. Jeff Glass is saying I sold $25 cash secure puts on AI after the CEO news dropped and didn't have the nerve to write more on this drop. You know what? It's all good. It's all good. You wrote some cash secure puts, and I did some 25 myself. I went out to January, and I wrote some Septembers and some Octobers, and it's okay. I'm sitting. I mean, dude, this is exactly what I'm going to do right here. This is what I'm going to do right this second for the next few months. When it comes to AI, crossing my arms. I'm crossing my arms, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to listen to Vivaldi. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to Vivaldi. I'm going to listen to some Mozart, Beethoven, and I'm going to chill. I'm going to trade and keep trading the same way I've been trading for the past few years and bringing in more. And use that money to take my daughter to see the Nutcracker uh, in December. I'm going to use that money to buy some more AI. I'm going to use that money. I mean, I want to keep using that money in different ways, right? And I want to make it real a couple of times. We just went shopping the other day for school supplies for the kids and some outfits, right? And we spent a lot of money, especially because my daughter, she's a preteen and she's paying a lot more attention to what kids are wearing, but she's also her own person. Of course, she wanted some Doc Martens, right? Some Doc Martens uh, boots, and those are not cheap. Let me tell you. And then she wanted, some specific type of pants, to go with those. And I don't know. When I buy a shirt, I like it. Women are so different, man. And it's like, and she likes shopping, and um, the other day, my wife asked her, you want all these things? Where's your credit card? My daughter literally grabbed me. She pulled me towards her, and she told my wife, "This is my credit card. It's in his pocket." Do you feel that? I don't think you guys are feeling that. The fact that my daughter said literally, I'm her credit card is deep. That's deep, man. And I just started laughing. I couldn't help but to laugh. Um, and so anyways, thank you, gamblers. You guys paid for all those supplies that my kids are gonna use during the year for the clothes they're wearing. Because if we bought her outfits, then we have to buy our other kids' outfits, right? And so like we have to buy multiple outfits, and we have to buy all these and we also like to donate to the school, right? They ask for if people have like you know extra supplies that to drop them off, and that's one of the things that you can do when you have a little extra discretionary spend money, right? You can do these things and you feel good about yourself, right? And you have a few extra bucks, totally okay. And that's what selling covered calls and cash secure puts brings to my life, which is like we're always saying that America is the land of the free, right? And I like to equate that to like mental freedom, like financial freedom, right? Yes, it's. I mean, we have all these other rights, and I think a lot of us take it for granted. America truly is a great land. There is no other land in this world where you can come from literally nothing. You work your ass off, you figure out a niche, and you can make a life for yourself and your family. You really, really can. Um, but there's so many different types of freedom, and I think financial freedom is one of them. And again, this is one of the reasons that I would like to make 100 millionaires on here. If I can teach 100 people to be financially free, right? I would feel so great the day that I'm on my deathbed, right? I'll be like, you know what, man? I was not the best person in the world. Like, I was not a perfect man by any stretch of the imagination. But you know what? I was a decent human being. I was a good father, and I helped 100 people for that I know of for sure have better lives for them and their family. I would feel so great on that day because I mean it's something that would make me like personally in my heart happy. So anyways, I lost myself again, guys. What do we got going here? um so Jeff Glass is saying that he wishes he would have sold more cash secure puts when AI dropped, and I say that's what happens when I told you guys 25% to 30% drop on AI is fucking criminal. Sell some cash secure puts. I was telling people, you don't want to sell 15, sell 14, 12 50s out to 2027. It's free money. You can look at my videos that I made Monday. I made multiple videos that day. I think, no, I made one Sunday night because I just felt like I had to tell people, stop, don't walk away from the edge, right? Walk away from the edge, man. It's not as bad as you think. And then on Monday, I had to repeat this and tell people, look, AI is a great company. They just came out with a new product. I mean, this is a hit piece, and yes, it's unfortunate that the numbers are not what people expected. But I mean, we are in an earnings season, and every company is telling you, we are not going to do as well as we did in the past because the economy overall, right? Yes, Nvidia is making a ridiculous amount of money. Microsoft is making money. Apple is making great returns, but not every company is. Like it's a very small percentage of companies that are making a ridiculous amount of money. Not everybody. And so, anyways, but it is criminal that it went down so much. And it's going to go back to 20. I said, it's going to find its footing in the $22 land. It's going to consolidate in the 20s, and then it's going to rip again, just like AI does, man. Just like AI does. Bad news, send it down 25, 30%. Great news or good news are going to send it up 20%, 25, 30%. That's what happens. And that's why I love this stock so much. And I've been beating the drums and the table for 3 years now, telling people if you are an options seller, right? If you are in the options market and you love selling covered calls and cash secure puts, this is the stock that has made me a ridiculous amount of money. And I am sharing it with the world. I shared it on the Uncle Bruce channel 3 years ago. He didn't like it because he thought it was really nuanced, and he didn't really know what they did, and he's like, they're losing money, and I just kept telling people, just have a look see, have a look see. And then people started making premiums on it. And then, it went to 40s, 45s. People saw covered calls, and then they bought them back. And it's just, they've been yo-yoing this stock with me for years in the Discord. And it keeps making us money. And I want to share it with whoever's out there watching me today, the one of 30 people out there. If I can get a couple of you guys to like have a look see and be like, hey, not a terrible company. Let's look at it some more. Great company. You know what? Same thing with Webull. Webull, it's 15, 17 at this point, right? October's cash secure puts, $15 cash secure puts could bring you $290 at this moment. That's for $295. Why not? It's a great return on investment. It's almost 20% by going to October. That's insane. That's great. ACHR, what's Archer doing today? Archer Aviation is down 2%. Not terrible. Is it a stock that you're looking at? Is it something that you've been kind of on the fence about, and you were like, it's when it was $14, $15, was it too rich for you? It's $10 now. I sold some covered calls, I think some 1250s out in 2026 and 2027s, 15s. I made some money, and you can too. Not financial advice, but just saying, information wise, if you were to sell some $10 cash secure puts out to October, you could bring in $118 at this point on Archer Aviation. It's already down. It's beaten down. The last week, let's see, the last month is down 2%. It's kind of trading in the $10 to $13 land. It's right now kind of at the lower end of 10. Can it drop to 9? I think it can drop to 9. But if you do $10 covered call or cash secure puts out to January and bring in $1, you're realistically buying it at 9. You can then roll, because there's no guarantee it's going to stay at 9 or at 10, right? So, it's one of those that you have to make a decision and be like, is this a company I've been looking at? I think because of the political environment and the national security implications that we are having right now as a nation, the discussion, I think that the contract that they signed are going to make it so that they're going to start using their product to kind of to guard the border. And that's what I see happening. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but I mean, that's kind of where we're going. And it wouldn't be you would not be wrong to buy it at $10. Get paid for it. Get paid 10%. It's not a bad investment, in my humble and personal opinion, right? A stock that is very, very, very curious, and it's kind of trying to break out. I'm looking at all the graphs, and it's just GME. GME is just refusing to go to 22, huh? It's refusing to go to 21. It doesn't want to stay at 22. It's creeped up to 23 now. I see it trying to go to 25. And if it does, I will sell some $30 cover calls expiring January. Will it happen? I don't know. It's just, it feels sluggish at this point. But, when it starts getting this boring, it has a violent upswing or downswing. And at this point, I'm just waiting for it to make a decision. I have some $23 cash secure put sitting that expire in October. I have a $30 cash secure put expiring in October. I have some $30 cash secure puts expiring in January. Ask me next month how I feel about it. But if there is a pop of 5% or more on GME, GME is one of those few ones that if it pops 5%, 6%, I go right away and I put a stinker because those feel it takes a little bit because the spread is kind of so big, but when it feels real quick, right? And especially if I go a penny underneath the ask. However, it's just to be seen, right? But I've nothing written on GME at this point. So I have all these shares, and I'm itching to sell. And in the past, when I've been itching to sell and I sell, then it goes up. So this is why I'm taking my time. I'm itching to sell, and that's my cue that it's gonna make a decision either way. Either is it gonna go up or is it gonna go down? I don't know. But what I do know is that every time I sell a covered call, when I get anxious, it runs. So I'm starting to get anxious, and that's a good green flag for me. So we'll see what it does in the next month. Um, let's see here. AAOI. Now AAOI is another savage stock that I've been kind of telling you guys about, I think, for the past few weeks. And I like it. It's got really good premiums. I feel about it the same way that I did AI when I started looking into it. And I've been trading it for 6 months now, maybe a little more. And it keeps making me money, so I'm just not going to stop. Applied Opto Electronics. It's got really good premiums, and it's 22.76 at this point. I have some $20 puts that I wrote expiring in 2026, and I got $4.50 for them, almost 25%. I'm daring the market at this point. Now, if there's another pullback, I'm gonna leave those there. But if there is another pullback, let's say to 21, I'm going to go to October. There is no October. So I may go to September, and I may do 22.50s and try to bring in $3 to get the shares. And then I'll start selling covered call on those. I have no shares right now. Every single amount of money, every single dime I've made with AAOI has been via cash secure puts. And I have yet to get a sign. I've been for 6 months going in and out, in and out, in and out. Whenever it backtracks down to I started trading it when it was like $12, $13 and $14, something like that. And then and it shot up to 26, and it came back down to 19, and it shot up, came back down to 17, and shot up. And I keep making money, and I'm not going to fight it. But I think at this point I may get a little more aggressive, and I may just dare it to give me shares at 22.50, and I'll try to bring in $3 because that's well over 10%, right? Once October opens up, if I can bring $4 for 22.50s, that's a no-brainer to me. That is a no-brainer for me. 22.50 is what I'm risking, but then I bring in $400. Essentially, I'm buying it at $18. I'm risking $1,800. It's not going to go to zero. So, this is how we do the math, right? And I'm literally having this conversation in my head, and you guys are watching me live. Like, this is something that, I have these conversations with myself all the time. And it's easy money. Worst case scenario, I get, a couple of hundred shares, at 18.50. That's what 22.50, but I got paid $4 per. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna wait for October to open up, and then I'm gonna go and maybe put in 3 to 5 22.50 contracts would not hurt me at all, and I could use that money. Yeah. All right, what do we got here? Dude is saying thumbs up for Savage. I agree. Thumbs up for Savage. Oh, Beach Boy. Beach Boy's in the house. All right, Beach Boy. Hold on. Let's see here. I got this. I got this, my dude. Let's see here. Share, baby, share. Ah, ah, ah. Um, ah, ah, ah. Oh, shoot. No, the wrong one. I don't drink Coronas anymore. I choose Modelo Especial. Let me have another one. Yes, I love Modelo, bro. Um, for the folks that don't know, Modelos are pretty tasty, and and I like my Modelo micheladas. It's Modelos with a little clamato juice. It's like a shot and a half or 2 shots of clamato juice for every 12 ounces of Modelo beer, especial, right? Or just the light beer, not the light. I mean, like the Corona looking beer, right? Um, then you throw in like half a lime, a little bit of a dash of Tabasco sauce, and a little bit of Lea Perrins in there, and you mix it. Oh, it's so juicy. It's so juicy and so good and so refreshing on a hot day. Oh, so good. And you get in trouble. You easily get in trouble because you'll drink 6 of those like that. Next thing you know, you're like happy as a clown. All right. Thumbs for the Savage. That's what's up, dude is saying. Uh, Beach Boy is in the house saying, Ni hao, Savage. What up, Beachy? Dude is saying that he only does Corbin cover calls in a portion of his position. It requires monitoring for sure. It's playing with fire, uh, a controlled burn to me. It's playing with fire for you, a controlled burn to me. Either way, you're getting burned. I don't like it. I have been trading. I have a trading plan if things go wrong. As long as you have a plan, that's what matters. Jeff Glass is saying last time I was in a bank was to close on a home refinance during COVID, but they're still building banks all over here where I live. There are 3 under construction within 5 miles of my house. What's funny is when we refinanced, um, actually the people came to us. They came to our home and we refinanced here. So that's kind of how we went about that. So you don't have to go to a bank to refinance. Let's see here. What else is here? Okay. Mr. Lucky saying I should have bought Uber at 30 when I had the chance, shaking my damn head. Look at Lyft. Lyft is it's a good company. They do the same thing. They're signing contracts all the time. I prefer them to Uber, quite honestly. Uber has that Uber Gold, though, and Lyft doesn't yet. And I think once Lyft figures it out that they want to kind of be the next Uber, they just got to be honest with themselves, right? But I mean, I like Lyft. Lyft is like $14, $15 a share right now. So I think it's more upside. CKT in the house is saying it definitely depends on where the current stock price is. If I see it hit 25, I will switch to 30s. I've been hitting 25s with it being around 117 or 22. It might be time to move up with a strat. I think that's good. It's a good call. Thanks, Savage is a done deal. I'm already in bull big time. It's all good, my man. It's all good. There's more. I mean, look at AAOI. You know, there's RXRX. I mean, it's just there's so many good ones. Premiums are wonderful for bull. I agree, Mr. Lucky. Yes, they are. All right. CKT is saying road cover call on AI for January 26 at 20 for 233. Cover call. That's all good. You brought in money. Easy money. If your average is under 20, I think that's great. Misty Tree. James of the Misty Tree is in the house. Ahoy. It's James. Lucky 26. Hello, James. Good morning, my friend. Juan Velasquez is saying just got filled at 220 on Sentinel 1. Thanks, Savage, for the encouragement. All good, my friend. No worries. B the Casino is saying Bank of Death. That's what my daughter says. Bank of Death. Just filled on Bull 927. Cash your put $15 for 207 times 10. My man putting his money where his mouth is. I like that. Dude, Congratulations. You either just bought Webull at $12.93, or you're gonna get $2,070 for free. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all, my friend. Nothing at all in a month. In a month, you do that 10 times in a month. You just that's $2,070 every month times 12. We're talking about roughly $25,000 in a year, just on that trade alone. If you just duplicate that trade 10 times, sorry, 12 times in a year, you're bringing in down near $25,000. I mean, that's a full time job in some parts of this country, right? And that's you're making that. You're making that. That's insane. Just trading. That is wonderful. That's for me wonderful to read. CKT saying, "Good looking out." Of course, my man. That's why we're here, man. Jeff Glass is saying, "Thankfully, those days are over for me. My kid has a job and pays his own rent now. Paying for his college was rough." I agree, man. I'm actually my daughter is extremely smart. She plays sports and she's going to start doing the violin. So hopefully she can get some scholarships. She's really good at soccer. She's like she made a decision, and I told her, that there's always going to be someone that's trying to become like a scorer, right? Everyone wants to score and be the next Messi. Um, Everyone wants to be the next Ronaldo, right? But defense wins championships. And I was telling her about the Barcelona. I'm a Barcelona fan, by the way. That's my team. That's my soccer team. Um, Barcelona won all those cups, in the 2010s. Yes, because they had Messi, and then they had Xavi, right, and Iniesta, right. But they had a guy named Carles Puyol, number 5, in the backfield, who was the captain of the team. Now, if you think about that, it tells you all you need to know. A team that had all those guys, right, that are like easily Hall of Famers, but he was the captain at that time, tells you all you need to know. And he was the defense. He was a defender. He was the mid defender. And Piqué was in there. With Piqué's a world class defender. You had Dani Alves in the team. Um, I mean, you had stars. You had world class stars, Hall of Famers everywhere in every position. Yet he was the captain, and he was the heart of that defense. And I told her, "Have you ever heard of Carles Puyol?" And she's like, "Who is that?" And I told her exactly. Nobody will tell you who these defenders are, but I assure you, the guys that played against them will never forget those defenders because they frustrate the offense. They frustrate all those forwards and midfielders, and they punish them. Pepe, you know, who played at Real Madrid, was an absolute butcher, but he nobody went to his side because they knew they were going to pay. And so anyway, she made a decision 2 years ago to play defense, and she's now known as the Steel Curtain. They stay away from her side of the field, right? Um, and she gets bored. She literally tells me she gets when she starts looking at the sun. She starts looking everywhere else because everything is going on the other side of the field. She literally shortens the field in half, and that's I think she's gonna be really really good uh, high school and college player. And if she really puts a lot of effort into becoming a defender, I see her doing some really awesome things because she's a sweet girl. She's really smart. She's mean, and she's a tank. She's mean, and she's really powerful. And so yeah, they don't mess with her. So I just if I don't have to play for college, that'd be great. But if I do, I think I'll be all right. Smelly covered calls is definitely going to help. JJ saying Bull October $15 put 295 stinky filled. I like that. That $15 put filled. Okay, is it cash secure put? I hope it was a cash secure put. I think that's what it was. I think it's cool. That's a great. It's a great move. 20% for 2 months. Wonderful. James is saying I just got one of those too. JJ. Juan Velasquez is saying Savage had the bull for October, just got 9,295, and thank you, and let me have another one. That's right. That's how we do it. Misty saying 2 AI $15 cash you puts January fill for 401. Dude, that's awesome. 401. Okay, that's wonderful, man. That's great. That's a nice chunk of change. Juan Velasquez is saying that's a heck of a great premium, Misty. I agree. Wheeling, Idaho saying Webull earnings in August 28th. They are, and that's exactly why I'm taking advantage of all these high premium. If it keeps moving up, I may just buy back my cash secure puts at like a 30, 40, 50% return. And I may just sit it out and see what happens. But we'll see. We'll go closer to earnings. I'll talk more about that. But at this point, I want to take advantage of the premium. I don't see Webull going down 30%. And the thing is, they actually may have had a really great quarter. It's going to be one of those where, like, it's iffy, just because people are not investing as much as they were. Everything is expensive. They're spending there's no discretionary spend, right? And people are just taking care of like stuff that we need to pay, like where you live and your food and your clothing, transportation. CKT saying played soccer through college, was an outside midfielder runner, loved every day of it. You ran your ass off, but I still hold on the time record for most assists in college career. Awesome, bro. My daughter assists like a mofo. She has a really good nose for passing. And she picks all the scrap that comes on her way. Nobody messes on her side. So when she does, see the ball, she'll just grab it, and she has the tendency to run down the band real quick. And she'll kick it right at the sweet spot, and she'll get her friends involved. And they have some really good strikers. And so she gets assists all the time. So I think she's gonna do well. CKT says, have a high school friend that plays defense at Stanford and had an amazing career. Dude, that's awesome. I like Stanford's down the street. I love Stanford. Man, if my daughter got to Stanford, I think, oh my God, it'd be great. Hector's asking, how's my backside? Oh, thank you for asking. It's coming along. I went to the physical therapy yesterday, right? And the doctor was saying, that my lower back is, I want to get better quick. But there is no, I'm getting older, and I'm also on the heavier side, although I'm not incredibly, heavy, I should weight less. And so she said, you may be on the long side of how long this injury takes to heal. So she's saying closer to 6 to 8 weeks. And we did physical therapy yesterday. I saw the doctor and the physical therapist. And so the physical therapist, we were doing these exercises, and I was feeling okay. And I think I overdid them because, especially because because I get this pain behind my knee, and then like right in the middle of my butt. And, what I strained was my back. I asked, why is it that it hurts on my knee? And so basically we did some exercises, and she said, does this hurt? She was trying to see if there's this specific nerve, and it hurt whenever I did this one specific exercise. And she said, I think I know why it hurts. Is because that nerve, you probably compressed it. And because I kept working through it, because I didn't think it was that bad of an injury. I thought I was going to shake it off. I was going to ice it when I came home, take some pain pills, and I'll be good the next day. Maybe a little sore, and I was just going to stretch. I kept working for a few hours, and I aggravated it. So that just it inflamed, right? So it's going to take a little longer to heal because of that. But it's because that nerve got compressed. So now it's like a combination, right? It's like a lower back sprain, and then it's like I also compressed that nerve by working with that sprain, because it was like compressing that nerve. I say got it more inflamed. So, but thank you for asking. It feels better. I just took some pain pills though, and I'm sitting on I'm sitting on this heating pad, right? And my butt gets kind of hot, but I mean it is what it is. Um, Misty Tree Woodcraft said, "Oh shit, I lied. I was looking at 15s, but clicked the 20. Good grief! No wonder it seems so." Ah, you wonderful man. It happens. Shit happens. You know what, dude? It's if it's Weeble, dude. You know what? Leave it alone. Well, okay, not financial advice. I just be you look. I would leave it alone and just fucking dare them to put those $20 cash cure puts to me in January. But if you feel uneasy, and you need the $500, you could buy back. Make have it go up a little bit, right? Maybe tomorrow. I think it's gonna keep going up to the $16, $17 land. You could buy, when it's when you make like $20 or something, buy it back and then do right 15s again. The premium would not be as good, but you can go um, and still get a good premium. Anywhere between now and August 28th, it's going to be good premium because of earnings, right? So the volatility is going to help you. Take his keys. That's right. Where is John Malone? Hey, I don't know where John Malone is. I haven't seen him for a few days. If you guys see him, tell him he's slacking, man. We need him over here. So I think I cut up to you guys, at least on this end. And let's see here. All right. We're back over here. And restore the chat, please. Here we go. Let him cook. Let him cook, baby. That's what's up. All right. So let's see here. What do we get? What do we got? Ooh, my wife sent me a text. I may be in trouble. I didn't even see it. AAOI it's good. I like it. I like where it's if it goes down, I'm gonna sell another cash put. Let's see here. Newsmax. So now Newsmax, man. I don't know. Newsmax is one of those weird stocks that I'm looking at, and it's not for everybody, obviously, right? It's not for everybody, but if you are here to make money, I see Newsmax October 17th, cash secure puts. It's 1190 right now. You can sell some 1250s and bring in $225, $230. Almost doubling your money, and for a couple of months in October, right? Yeah. So not terrible. Can it go lower? It can, but I just don't think it's going to go below 11 or $10. It's just my personal opinion, obviously, right? But it just IPO'd, so I think it's consolidating, right? I have some $20 cash secure puts that I got like $7 for, so I'm good till 13. I'm a bit underwater on Newsmax, but I'm waiting. How's Enphase doing today? Enphase is 34.55. Oh, oh, oh. It's up 6.5% today. Again, that small cap stocks rally, free money, right? That just the whispers of an extra rate cut are sending things flying. So I have some $40 cash secure puts and some $45 cash secure puts. I'm good until 29 and 31. So you know what? Let it rip. Let it rip. It's all good. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I am good until January. So whatever. Take me out. Take me out, homie. ASTS. It was down a bit today, and it's starting to come back up. Let's see what happens. All right. ASTS. You know, if you guys have been looking at ASTS, it's 49.33. You have an extra $5,000 that you want to use in a good way. I mean, selling a $50 cash secure put out to January and bringing in $1,070 would not be the most terrible thing if you've been looking at ASTS. Go to 45, dare to come down $5 and ask for $785. Why not? Why not? You're bringing in pretty much 20% at that point. So, well, not really 20%, 15 to 20, but still, not terrible if you've been looking at ASTS. How is Red Cat doing today? Red Cat is it's down a bit. I have some $8 cash secure puts that I got paid $185 for, and we're at 178. Stock is at 936. I mean, my break-even price is 620. So take me out, free money, right? Clean Spark is another one that's you know, I really like Clean Spark. The ticker is CLSK. Man, I've been trading it for a few, and I have some 1250 cash secure puts expiring in January, and I'm good until my break even is 998. I got $252 for those. I mean, I'm daring the market at this point. Come take me out. Come take me out. QUBT is down 5% today. Quantum computing. All right. Again, we were talking about easy money, free money. $15 cash secure puts for October are bringing you $195. Ask for 197. $15 cash secure puts. The stock is at 1576. So you're essentially buying it pretty much at $13, right? I mean, if you have no quantum stock and you want to jump in, I mean, look at this company. Earnings are around the corner. I think they're going to have good earnings, and I think investors are just nervous, but I think they had a good quarter. I'm going to hold. I sold some $18 cash secure puts, and I got over $5 for those. I got like 570 or 530. Yeah, 530. For an $18 cash secure put, I'm covered all the way to 1270. It's 1573. It'd have to go down $3. It's already down 5%. I'm daring the market. Again, you have to have conviction on your stocks, right? So, all right, what do we got here? Mr. Lucky is saying just had a bull $17 912 cash secure put fill for $3. Too good. Agreed. That's a good call. That's you're making $3. You're getting filled. You're buying it at 14. Nothing wrong with that at all, my man. Hector is saying that Savage better to be a hot ass than a hot head. I agree. I agree. Roaring Yiddy is in the house. How you doing with Serve and Wolf? I'm doing great with Wolf. I bought the cash secure puts. I made like 30% out of that. Serve. Let's see. Serve. How am I doing with Serve? Roaring Yiddy is in the house. Serve Robotics. I sold a couple of Serve $11 cash secure puts for $275, and they're $293, $298 right now. So 1/16/26 expiry date. I'm good until 8/25. The stock would have to come down $2 for me to be like, ah, man, that sucks. So I'm good. I'm good. I'm sitting pretty. That's what I like to call it. I am sitting pretty. What up, Roaring? Where you been, man? I haven't seen you for a few days. Are you cheating on me with another YouTuber, man? What's going on? Don't let my wife hear me. Just playing here. It's all being a comedian. Too much of a comedian. Yeah, man. So that's why that's what we got going here, guys. Like I said, RXRX is just it's ripe. It's really doesn't like this channel. I mean, it's been there for so long. It's consolidated enough. I told you guys the lows are higher now. It likes $6. It's trying to get back up to 650. It's gonna rip to 8. It's gonna rip to 8. It's just looking for an excuse to rip to $8. Rivian is going to go to $15. It's just a matter of time. GME again, it's just trying to make up its mind. It's going to go either way at this point. We talked about Arch, Riot. Riot's another one. I don't know if I talked about Riot. It's down it's up at 1% today. That's a nothing burger. I have some $12 calls that I got. I think like three something for, like $3.64 for those covered calls. The $12 covered calls that I sold out to 2027. I was trying to raise some cash. So my average on Riot is like 743. So I'm selling for almost twice the profit. And I brought in a nice chunk of change that I used for something else. I mean, it is all good. Now, if I was to trade Riot at this point, I would look at some October's cash secure puts, some 11s. They're the market to put those shares to me. I get $99, $98 for the $11 cash secure put. Why not? What do we got? Roaring is saying, nah, I missed the lives. Not always sure when you're gonna go live. Plus, I've had some appointments here and there. No, it's all good, man. I'm just playing with you. I go around 8:30. Maybe a little earlier, but for the most part, 8:30 is when I go out. I'm gonna be on tomorrow. And I'm gonna try to be on as well on Friday. So I guess that's going to be 5 days this week. It just so happens because of this injury to my back, I have a little more time in my hands. And again, my kids, they started school. So it frees me up so I can actually trade at the same time as I'm talking to you guys, right? And I can talk to the gang, man. And then, we can see what we're working on and then what we're working with. So that's kind of what's going on. NVIDIA is down today. I really want NVIDIA to come down at 150. I have some 175s that I sold to 2027. And those are, they're down. But again, it's all good. The average is very low. So please take them away. The QQQ is down. Baby, it's down 0.1%. It was up half a percentage earlier on when we opened, and down not even 1%. So it's that kind of nothing burger at this point, right? But again, most of the fun happens at opening, the first hour. This is why it's really gonna be hard for me to get on that first hour here. And I don't go on until 8. So that gives me an hour and a half of trading. IonQ is down. I really like IonQ. It's down almost 4%, 5%. It goes down another 4 or 5% tomorrow. That would be a great time to some cash secure puts, right? Some cash secure puts, that's great premiums on this one. Cash secure puts are bringing you at this point 10%, I think 11%. So that's not terrible. Maybe those 40s tomorrow could be like, $6, $5, $6. That'd be great. Or you could sell some three, $35 cash secure puts, try to get $3 for those and just dare the market to put those to you. I mean, INQ, there's a little more risk there, and it's one of those that you guys can start looking. But I like the stock. SMCI, you guys know the deal. Sound is just a little profit taking at this point. I wouldn't write anything right now. Figma is a good one. It's down $5 today, and I am looking for it to. We don't even have the 52-week low yet, or a 52-week high, which bothers me. But man, Figma in the 50s, I'm really looking forward to buying it and doing some $50, maybe some $45 cash secure puts, and really starting a position on Figma. Let's see, if you were to sell a put right now on Figma, an $80 cash secure put will bring you $12.25. I mean, if you want to gamble a bit, not terrible. But I would wait for it to come down at least to the 60s. Personally, I'm waiting for 50. Will it happen? I don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But I mean, it'd be a lot more palatable for me. You could do a buy right though, so you buy at $82.18 and you sell a $90 covered call. You could go the other way, to October, and then you could bring in $1,130. $1,140. That's what 1145. Why not? So you're basically essentially making $750 to the upside, and then you're bringing in, $1,100 and you change. So I mean, there's so many ways to skin this cat, right? So I'm gonna wait for Figma. I'm gonna look at how it behaves in the next month or two, and then make up my mind. But I need to get Figma, man. I need to get some Figma. I like the company. I like what they do. I've actually been to some conferences, right? And I watched the Figma CEO speak. The guy's cool. The workers really like the company, and when the employees like a company, that's a really big green flag for me, right? It means that the company, the politics, all the internal play is healthy, right? And so that's what we want. Anyhow, my fellow simpletons, degenerates, and scallywags, it is now going into the second hour. We're gonna go on for an hour. It's been 2 hours now, so I think I'm gonna come to a close. We're having kind of a day where we're trading sideways. Some stocks are up, some stocks are down, but definitely some of our favorites are having a good day. Definitely AI is having a good day. So let's see how it behaves. Some of you guys, if you've been looking to writing some covered calls on AI, totally cool, because it's up over 5% today. I'm personally going to wait and see what happens. It could be one of those things that I'm getting greedy, right? But it's just not really. Like, just my past experience with it tells me that it may jump a bit from here. Now, it could retrace itself back another 3, 4, 5% and go back another 10%. We don't know what's going to happen, right? Nobody knows. But I'm gonna see what it does in the next month, and then make up my mind. Same thing with GME, right? It's one of those stocks that I've been trading for a while, and just based on past performance, I'm kind of waiting a little bit to see what happens. Now, I could be left holding the bag, and we'll see what happens. But for the most part, if you guys want to ride on this, totally cool. If you sell some $20 covered calls out to October or to January, especially if your average is like in the 16s, 17s, not a terrible thing, right? But that being said, let's see. Unity's down today. RXRX up a bit. And I'm gonna wait for it to go to like Like I said, I have some stinkers there, but they look like they're not going to trigger. Um, let's see what happens. I'm excited to see and dare the market to put those $6 cash cure puts on my account in September. Rivian is barely green. SOXS is red. That's my direction. Daily semiconductor bear. It's a leveraged ETF, and it's three times leverage. So if semiconductors go down 10%, this is going to go up 30%. Conversely, if semiconductors go up 1%, this is going to go down 3%. It's just what happens. I'm totally okay holding it because I think we have a nice little shooter drop later on. Anyways, that's what I have for today. You savages, you scallywags, my fellow simpletons and degenerates, thank you so much for watching me. I had a great time today. We saw what our stocks are doing. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. You guys have a great day. Go out there and enjoy all your earnings that you made today. Especially you guys that sold for like over $1,000 today. You just made $1,000 in one day, right? You multiply that by 200 something, trading days we have. That's a $200,000 a year job. Kudos to you, my friend. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Until then, I'm the Savage of Wall Street. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. Have a great day, guys. Cindy saying hi, Savage. Cindy B, you missed a good show. Misty, peace out, Rory. Thank you for watching. Hector, Mr. Lucky, Poto, Beach Boy, Juan Velasquez, Jeff Glass, Be the Casino, CKT, Dude. Who else am I missing? Mark C, Moneymaker Juan, Hector, JJ Mando number 5. Not to be confused with Mambo number 5, Mr. Premium of the Option, Tom Kaufman, Chase Rosita Parker, Wing Commander. Thank you for watching, guys. You guys have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.